On a tranquil September morning in 2015, amidst the warm glow of sunrise, a harrowing incident transpired within a Spanish apartment complex. Concealed within the shadows of an underground car park, an assailant, shrouded in a black balaclava, lay in ambush behind a vehicle. Patiently biding time, he awaited the return of his intended target, a routine morning jogger. Having meticulously observed his victim for days, the assassin seized the moment as soon as the individual entered his line of sight. Swiftly emerging from the concealment, he aimed his weapon, only to be thwarted by a malfunctioning firearm. Seizing this unexpected opportunity, the intended victim managed to evade immediate danger, setting off a frantic pursuit. The atmosphere crackled with tension as the two figures sprinted, their footsteps echoing across the outdoor pool area. In a cornered and desperate state, the pursued individual made a dash towards a sealed gate, desperately seeking refuge. However, there was no reprieve, and the assailant unleashed a barrage of shots. Tragically, the victim was identified as Gary Hutch, the nephew of Jerry the Monk Hutch, a notorious figure in the criminal underworld involved in illicit drug dealings. The incident marked the untimely demise of Gary Hutch on the spot. Hutch shared a common background with his assailant, an individual who, like him, sought to establish a criminal career under the sun. Once aligned with the Kinahan gang, Hutch's trajectory took a dark turn when accusations of betrayal branded him as a potential informant within the cartel's ranks. In the aftermath of a bold attack, James Quinn, known as Frizzy due to his distinctive hair, exuded confidence in having eluded the grasp of the law. He orchestrated the burning of the getaway vehicle, a pilfered BMW X3, not far from the scene of the murder. Unbeknownst to him, a vigilant neighbor witnessed the act and promptly extinguished the flames. Shortly thereafter, law enforcement capitalized on this crucial lead. The discovery of DNA traces, specifically found on a black Oakley baseball cap recovered from the torched BMW, ignited a comprehensive investigation. This inquiry triggered a series of coordinated raids and search operations spanning both Dublin and southern Spain. The subsequent year unraveled Quinn's fugitive existence when he was apprehended in Madrid while attempting to board a flight. The meticulous work of undercover police operatives included obtaining Quinn's DNA from a water bottle used at a train station in Madrid. This genetic evidence seamlessly matched the DNA recovered from the cap found at the BMW crime scene. The capture marked a significant triumph for law enforcement, exposing Quinn as an individual deeply entrenched in a life marked by crime and violence. Fast forward to 2018, and the courtroom set the stage for justice to finally apprehend James Quinn. A Spanish judge handed down a 20-year prison sentence for the murder, coupled with an additional 2 years for illegal weapons possession. Throughout the trial, Quinn consistently maintained that he was in bed with a hangover and a prostitute at the time of Hutch's killing. However, he failed to produce any evidence substantiating this alibi. Despite widespread beliefs implicating Quinn, a childhood friend of Daniel Kinahan, as the triggerman, the judge could not definitively establish his role as the shooter. Nevertheless, Quinn was deemed a necessary participant, serving as a lookout and getaway driver. The potential for a life sentence was dismissed due to the inability to prove Quinn's affiliation with the criminal organization implicated in the murder. Furthermore, the jurors ruled out any concrete evidence suggesting that Quinn received payment for the hit. The gun, leading to his conviction, was discovered in a bedside table during a search of Quinn's residence. The courtroom drama concluded with Quinn's sentencing, underscoring the complexities of establishing certain aspects of his involvement in the crime. Efforts by James Quinn's legal team to overturn his conviction faced a resounding rejection from 3 appeal judges who dismissed every aspect of the lawyer's claims, asserting his wrongful conviction. Quinn's incarceration delivered a significant blow to Daniel Kinahan and his criminal network. According to law enforcement sources, Quinn, known as Frizzy, posed a substantial threat to public safety throughout his criminal career. His gun attack on Gary Hutch initiated a violent underworld conflict famously known as the Kinahan Feud, a feud that has claimed multiple lives. Quinn's criminal history extends beyond the ordinary. He wasn't merely a foot soldier but a key player in a perilous game. As the nephew of Martin Foley, also known as the Viper, and a former member of a gang led by Martin the General Cahill, Quinn's connections run deep within the criminal underworld. His affiliation with the Kinahan gang, one of Ireland's most notorious crime syndicates, underscores the magnitude of his influence and the inherent danger he represents. A highly skilled former kickboxer, Quinn spent a decade splitting his time between Dublin and Spain, predominantly residing near Marbella in the years leading up to his arrest. His arrest marked a turning point in the criminal saga of an individual deeply embedded in the dangerous world of organized crime. Dublin's law enforcement had issued grave warnings to James Quinn, alerting him to the imminent danger to his life. Functioning as an enforcer in the realm of drug dealing, Quinn solidified his standing through a series of violent criminal acts, amassing a reputation underscored by over 70 convictions, ranging from traffic offenses to brutal assaults. In 2008, Quinn assaulted a Garda on South Great George's Street, marking a pivotal moment in his criminal history. 2 months later, he was suspected of shooting a Dublin drug addict in the knees after the intruder had broken into a residence. Despite the severity of these incidents, the victim declined to file a complaint with the Garda, resulting in Quinn avoiding formal charges. In July 2013, Quinn faced sentencing at the Dublin Circuit Court for threatening a bouncer who had ejected him from a city centre pub. The court heard details of how Quinn, rather than outright threatening the bouncer at the time of ejection, ominously warned him of impending regret. Quinn later pursued the bouncer to his residence, where, at a traffic stop, he reappeared with a hammer, shattering the bouncer's windshield. "I told you you'd be sorry, you bastard," Quinn declared, emphasizing the sinister nature of his actions. This incident further added to Quinn's notorious criminal record, painting a vivid picture of his volatile and dangerous tendencies. In the subsequent year, Gerald "Hatchet" Kavanagh, a 44-year-old Dubliner employed as an enforcer for the Kinahan gang, met a fatal end in a bar near Marbella. His demise was a result of an internal dispute within the Kinahan gang. Kavanagh had established a reputation as an enforcer in the Irish underworld, acting on behalf of the Kinahan cartel. His role involved coercively collecting payment for drug debts in both Ireland and Spain. Prior to this, he had a history as a drug dealer. Kavanagh's son, Jamie, was present at the infamous weigh-in at the Regency Hotel in 2016, where a shooting occurred. The internal discord within the Kinahan gang that led to Kavanagh's demise stemmed from accusations of theft and involvement in defrauding Russian gangsters. James Quinn emerged as the chief suspect in orchestrating Kavanagh's murder. Additionally, Quinn was suspected of complicity in the killing of Kavanagh's brother Paul just 6 months later. During the operation that culminated in Quinn's arrest in Madrid, Spanish law enforcement seized a yacht and a Bentley car suspected to be linked to James Quinn. Simultaneously, in Dublin, police confiscated €3,000 in cash, along with computers, phones, counterfeit identification papers, and financial documents tied to property transactions and offshore bank accounts. Following his arrest, Quinn found himself incarcerated in Arkadona Prison, a maximum security facility notorious for housing infamous criminals. Notably, this prison was the same institution where Christy Kinahan and his sons, Daniel and Christopher Jr., had been detained after their arrests in May 2010 as part of Operation Shovel, a major police operation targeting drug trafficking and money laundering. Phone taps conducted by the Spanish police unveiled that James Quinn and Gary Hutch maintained regular contact. During these intercepted calls, Quinn and Hutch were heard discussing matters such as hiring prostitutes, contradicting Quinn's earlier assertion that they were not associates. Subsequently, Quinn was transferred to Topus Jail, a remote high-security facility in western Spain, situated 26 kilometers outside the city of Salamanca. Notably, Topus Jail houses ETA terror leaders and prominent Moroccan Al-Qaeda prisoners. Ironically, Quinn had previously shared a prison cell with Derek Delboy Hutch, Gary Hutch's brother, in Wheatfield Prison in 2011. At that time, Quinn and Delboy were close associates, having been part of the same gang. Their placement together was influenced by Delboy's offer of protection to Quinn. However, as time passed, Quinn found himself compelled to choose sides when Gary fell out of favor with the cartel. Despite Quinn's earlier loyalty to the cartel, especially to Daniel Kinahan, just 4 years after sharing a prison cell with Delboy, Quinn was enlisted by the Kinahans to orchestrate the murder of Delboy's brother. Having now been convicted of killing another notorious figure in the gangland scene, Quinn faces several decades in prison. However, the prospect of future threats looms large, particularly when he is eventually released. Members of the Hutch gang have consistently blamed Quinn for Gary's murder and vowed revenge, suggesting that Quinn's post-incarceration life may be fraught with danger. That concludes today's video. We're eager to hear your thoughts on the topic, so feel free to share them in the comments section. Thank you for watching.